Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hey, hello, and welcome to the AHA channel, the channel that makes you go AHA. And my name is Asa. Hello, non-native speakers of English. What is the hardest thing in learning English? Pronunciation? Vocabularies? Intonation? Or tenses? I know, I'm a native speaker myself. I have been and is still through those hardships in learning English. So today I'm going to talk about 4 hardest thing in learning English for non-native speakers of English like me, and I'm also discussing about how to solve the problems, what are the tricks and the tips which is hoped to help. Okay, why don't you check the 4 list first, and then we'll discuss about it further after checking those 4 lists. Alright, the first on the list is pronunciation. I bet most of non-native speakers of English will say that pronunciation is the most difficult part of learning English. You know, this reminds me of my English teacher's joke when I was in senior high school. He said that English is a liar. He said that, how could you read one for the word that is written O-N-E, honor. In Indonesian, we have to read it honor, but in English, you read it once, so it's a liar. And that's a good joke from my teacher. English is a liar. Speaking about difficulties in pronunciation of English words. Words in English, the pronunciation, can be so very tongue-twisting and also can be so confusing. We were recording our voice once at work, and I was supposed to read this word, that is discipline, and I confidently read that discipline because I thought, well, line was read L-I-N-E was read line, so discipline, it's like, yes, it's proper to read discipline. And then my friend checked it on the dictionary and it says discipline, and I was like, oh, yes, English words can be so confusing in pronunciation. So what to do to deal with this hardship in pronunciation? In the early stage of my learning English, I used to buy this little tape recorder, and if you don't know what that is, please Google it. And I used to record my voice on the tape recorder. I pronounced words in English or say something in English, and then I played that recording. And if I thought that the sound it sounded ridiculous or it sounded bad, I repeat doing it. I recorded my voice again and I say something in English, and if it sounded not good, then I repeat it again. That is my method. And now you can use your phone. It's easy to record your voice, and just delete it and do it again, delete it and do it again. It's easy. Sharing these tips and tricks on how to make your pronunciation in English better doesn't mean that my pronunciation is perfect. No, I don't have a perfect pronunciation in English. And I may not sound as good as some people's expectation in English, but I don't mean to satisfy anyone or anybody. And I love and I enjoy learning English, especially about pronouncing words in English. And I guess you should do the same. Enjoy the process, enjoy your learning on pronunciation, in this case here, and don't let it stop you to learn English. Okay, the second on the list is vocabularies. And when it comes to hardship in vocabularies, I always remember prepositional verbs. I think there are too many of them. Put on, put out, put off, get in, get on, get off, and blah 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 blah. Oh my god, there are so many of them. When you use them on writing, of course, you can always check the meaning of those prepositional verbs in the dictionary. But in speaking, you can't do that. And I'm not going to recommend you memorize all these prepositional verbs. I don't, because I don't do that, and especially when you are 40s, it is not fun to memorize things. And even when I was younger, I didn't do that. I never memorized words in English and the meaning of it in Indonesian. No, I never done that. I never have done that. Practicing to speak English every day is the key, because all those English words will come out by themselves. You don't have to memorize all those words, and that's my tips. How about the use of those killer vocabularies? I mean prepositional verbs. Well, this is my tip for you. You see, I always avoid using all those prepositional verbs if I can. As much as I can, I will avoid it. For example, instead of saying put off the fire, I will use, well, another words or other words. Let's say I can say, please do something to stop the fire. See, that's the same meaning, right? So there is always another way to say things or other way to say things. So if I'm not sure about the meaning of the prepositional verbs, then I will avoid using it. And that is my tip. That's a smart tip, I guess. Okay, the third on the list is tenses. This is also a killer. And if you are on the basic stage of learning English, then those basic tenses like simple present, simple past, or present future, or the basic tenses are even confusing. And if you are on the next level of learning English, like intermediate, even in advanced stage, then I guess you will also be confused about present and future. Native speakers sometimes say it with will and going to and will have blah 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 and will be blah blah blah, and it's really confusing to differentiate between those expressions of present, future. Again, I don't recommend you memorize those pattern of tenses. It is hard, for me at least, to memorize those patterns of tenses in English. Here is a tip for me, maybe it will help. After a session of learning about a tenses, simple present for example, whether you are joining a course or you are at school or something, please use that to talk about your daily activity with your friend, or at least you write your daily activity in English with those tenses that you have learned. The simple present, I mean. It will be easy to remember those patterns when you use it like daily. But if your target of learning English is not only to be able to communicate in English with other people, to be able to pass an exam, for example, TOEFL, TOEIC or something, then I guess you don't have any choice but memorizing those pattern of tenses, because we have different purposes here. And if you are now still struggle hard with tenses in English, then don't rush. Just enjoy the learning process and don't worry. I mean, if your goal is to be able to communicate in English with other people, then people will still understand you even though you speak without grammar rules. So enjoy the process, the learning process. Just relax, don't rush. Then how about the killer tenses? Just like present, future, will, going to, will have, will be, and will blah 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 blah. I don't even remember how many expressions you can use to express present, future. And also if clause, if I were you, I would go to blah 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 blah, but it's so difficult, it's so complicated for us. And do I have any tips or tricks about that? Just avoid using them. And there is always another way to say things, so relax. Use them when you do writing, not speaking. Because when writing, you can always check those grammar with that application maybe, or with the notebook that you have. The last on the list, or list number 4, and that is intonation. Whether you want to say words in English with rising tone or falling tone, that is, I guess, the meaning of intonation. Here are some clues, little clues, I guess, about intonation in English. When you try to say yes/no questions, you use rising intonation in the end of the questions, the end part of the question. Let's say, for example, you want to say, are you okay? You have to say, are you okay? This is the rising intonation. Or, can I help you? And if they are just interrogative, not yes/no questions, you can say it with falling intonation in the end part of the questions. So you might say, where are you going? Falling intonation. These are some tips and tricks from me about intonation. First, you have to watch lots of English movies. Watch, learn, listen, and imitate them. I used to watch the sitcom called Friends, and if you are 40s, you might have heard this sitcom before. I used to watch that sitcom much, and I learned about intonation from that sitcom much. But I don't have any recommendation for a newer TV series or movies, because I don't watch movies, especially today's. So you gotta find out what movies that are best to learn about pronunciation in English yourself. I don't have any recommendation, sorry. Okay, second tips. When you try to speak English, please try to relax. Sometimes it gives so much tense for us non-native speakers to speak English, especially in front of many people or in front of the camera. So the first thing to do is try to calm down, try to relax. Then let your body move. Let your face show your facial expression. Let your hand move to make gestures. That will help you to be expressive in your vocal. When you are expressive in your vocal, it means that the intonation will come out naturally. If you watch English movies a lot, you heard, you watch, you listen, and you imitate them, I mean the way that they do intonation in English, then it will be perfect. You will be getting better and better in intonation in English. Okay, that's it for today. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel so that you can catch up with English lessons that I upload here on my channel. On AHA channel, the channel that makes you go, AHA. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.